There are those who might argue that poets and painters are indulgent dreamers, disconnected from the imperatives of filling empty bellies. But clearly, Walcott's concerns transcend nostalgia, sentimentality, even art. His belief in the magic and mysticism of the Caribbean and St. Lucia does not blind him. In fact, our flawed fragility is fundamental to his view of our paradoxical world as something sacred, noble, worth preserving. Walcott helps us to see the embodiment and sometimes the resolution of his own conflicted sense of history, identity, and purpose. He was our poet, and he saw more in us than we might be willing to see in ourselves. Such was his gift to us that while Marley was rocking on the transport stereo, he discovered us over and over again, and what he saw moved him to weep and to write. The beauty was humming the choruses quietly, the light on the planes of her cheek. The head was nothing else but heraldic, like a statue, like a black Delacroix's liberty leading the people. Oh, beauty, you are the light of the world. His is a painful joy. It is that way with poets and with islands. The seductive beauty of the thing is its fatal flaw. In Light of the World, Walcott is not simply talking about one woman on a Grosley bus. He's talking about the collective us, a whole island, a whole people, his Caribbean, and the source of and solution to his own divided identity. To that world, he gives himself completely. As to his heraldic figure, who unites in her unassuming beauty all that is indescribably noble and elegant and fragile and fleeting. This is the fate of any earthbound beauty, and all the more precious and tragic for being so. The voice that acknowledges her fading beauty, and he says gradually even that was going in the dusk, is the same voice that exclaims how quickly it could all disappear. That same voice heralds in the aftermath of the 1948 Castries fire that the hills were a flock of faiths. And from his first published collection in 1961, he proclaims, "This island is heaven, away from the dust-blown blood of cities, for beauty has surrounded its black children and freed them of homeless ditties." Walcott's love of the Caribbean has almost always been painful, profound, prophetic. He was no blind poet trying to suspend a fading world in some single timeless frame. No. And so 3 decades after Green Night, his 1992 evocation confirms his determination that we should make the most of what history has, however accidentally, left us. A history which does not so much make us, but empowers us to make ourselves into who we wish to be by reassembling our fragments of epic memory into some lovable whole. There is no pretension, no apology when he asserts in his Nobel Lecture our ability to condense, in a sense defeat, the hegemonic notions of history and relevance and value. And he writes, "Consider the scale of Asia reduced to these fragments, the small white exclamations of minarets or stone balls of temples in the cane fields, and one can understand the self-mockery and embarrassment of those who see these rites as parodic, even degenerate. These purists look on such ceremonies as grammarians look on dialect, as cities look on provinces and empires on their colonies. In other words, that the Caribbean is still looked at illegitimate, rootless, mongrelized. No people there, no people, just fragments and echoes of real people, unoriginal and broken. That is how they look at us." The question for us then, 3 decades after Stockholm, and with one less soldier standing, is whether we have also come to think of each other with the same disregard, the same disdain, that combination of arrogance and ignorance which leaves us illegitimate and rootless and mongrelized. And if so, how the hell did we get here?